Sultan Fateh Ali Sahab Tipu, the 1st of December 1751 to the 4th of May 1799, commonly referred to as Sher-e-Mysore or Tiger of Mysore, was a ruler of the Kingdom of Mysore based in South India. He was a pioneer of rocket artillery. He expanded the iron-cased Mysorean rockets and commissioned the military manual Fathul Mujahideen. The economy of Mysore reached a zenith during his reign. He deployed rockets against advances of British forces and their allies during the Anglo-Mysore Wars, including the Battle of Palilore and Siege of Srirangapatna. Tipu Sultan, Sultan of Mysore. Tipu Sultan, born December 1, 1751, Devanhali, now Bengaluru, India, died May 4, 1799. Seringapatam, now Srirangapatna, was the Sultan King of the Kingdom of Mysore, who reigned from December 1782 until his death in 1799. He is known for the 4 Anglo-Mysore Wars of the late 18th century in which he fought against Britain and its allies. There are differing theories on why Tipu is called the Tiger of Mysore, such as a legend that he killed a tiger with a dagger, his use of a tiger on his insignia, and the fact that he displayed exceptional war tactics and ferocity in battle, particularly against the British. Early life. Tipu was born to Muslim military officer Hyder Ali, who later rose to become the ruler of the Mysore kingdom, ousting the Hindu Wadiyar rulers. Tipu's mother, Fatima Far-un-Nisa, was the daughter of the governor of Kadapa, now Kadapa, in what is now Andhra Pradesh. Tipu's birth date was earlier understood to be November 20, 1750, but in 2021 new evidence suggested that it was actually December 1, 1751. Tipu descended from the Quraysh people, who were the ruling tribe of Mecca. From a young age, he was instructed in military tactics by French officers in the employ of his father. He was also taught various subjects, including the Quran, Islamic law, science, swordsmanship, horse riding, and languages such as Persian and Arabic. Scholarship aside, Tipu learned about power and politics from real-life experiences during his childhood. He watched Hyder Ali's ascent to power and faced challenges, such as being imprisoned in a fort when he was about 10 years old when his father temporarily fled after his trusted minister Kand Rao betrayed him. Childhood. Tipu Sultan was born in Devanhali, in present-day Bangalore Rural District, about 33 kilometers, 21 miles, north of Bangalore on the 1st of December 1751. He was named Tipu Sultan, after the Saint Tipu Mastan Alia of Arcot. Being illiterate, Hyder was very particular in giving his eldest son a prince's education and a very early exposure to military and political affairs. At age of 17 onwards, Tipu was given charge of diplomatic and military missions and supported his father Hyder in his wars. Tipu the warrior. Tipu fought wars alongside his father from a young age. In 1766 he got the chance to apply his military training in battle for the first time when he accompanied Hyder Ali in an invasion of the Malabar region, what is now Kerala. Tipu also took part in a campaign against the ruler of neighboring Balam, in which he forced the chief to surrender. His first encounter with the British East India Company was in the First Anglo-Mysore War, 1767–69, in which Tipu fought with his father against the British and their allies. The war gave Tipu an opportunity to prove his mettle, as well as to hone his diplomatic skills, as he had to visit the Nizam of Hyderabad to negotiate terms for an alliance that would ensure that the Nizam did not side with the British during that war. This war ended with the Treaty of Madras, one clause of which stipulated that the British and Hyder Ali would support each other if either were attacked by a third party. In 1767 Tipu commanded a corps of cavalry against the Marathas in the Karnataka region of western India. And he fought against the Marathas on several occasions between 1775 and 1779. During the Second Anglo-Mysore War, 1780–84, he achieved a notable victory at the Battle of Palilore in 1780 and defeated Col. John Brathwaite on the banks of the Kolarun River, February 1782. His father was killed in battle during this war, and Tipu succeeded him in December 1782. In 1784 he concluded peace with the British with the Treaty of Mangalore and assumed the title of Sultan of Mysore. In 1789, however, he provoked British invasion by attacking their ally, the Raja of Travancore. Thus began the Third Anglo-Mysore War, 1790–92. The war saw fierce battles, during which Tipu held the British at bay for more than 2 years. It culminated in the Treaty of Seringapatam, March 1792, which required Tipu to cede half his dominions, pay a huge indemnity, and give 2 of his sons to the British as hostages. Tipu remained restless and strengthened his ties with France when the French were able to convince him that their country's post-revolution government would be favorable to him. Unwisely, though, he allowed his negotiations with revolutionary France to become known to the British. On that pretext, Richard Colley Wellesley, the governor of Madras, now Chennai, and Governor-General of Bengal, both 1797–1805, launched the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, 1799. Seringapatam, Tipu's capital, was stormed by British-led forces on May 4, 1799, and Tipu was killed leading his troops in the breach. Tipu the ruler. Tipu was an able general and administrator. He introduced reforms such as a new land revenue system, a variety of new coins, and a calendar called the Mauludi calendar. His iron-cased rockets, known as Mysorean rockets, were a key innovation in warfare. Although Hyder Ali had also used these weapons, Tipu redesigned and used them to far greater effect. Made of metal tubes filled with gunpowder and a stabilizing rod, they later inspired the British Congreve rocket. Tipu wanted to expand his father's dominion through aggressive conquests and was hostile toward neighbors, such as Cochin, Travancore, Cork, now Kodagu, and Malabar. He took down those he considered rebels and is known to have been cruel toward his enemies. It is said that he lacked the judgment of Hyder Ali and, unlike him, forced non-Muslims among the Kodavas of Kodagu in modern Karnataka, the Nayars of Malabar in what is now Kerala, and the Christians of Mangalore, now Mangaluru, in Karnataka to adopt Islam. Experts have different views on the reason behind these forced conversions, some citing religious bigotry and others proposing pragmatic considerations related to consolidating Tipu's kingdom. There is evidence, however, of Tipu's religious tolerance. As the Inam gift registers of Malabar show, he patronized Hindu temples with donations. He even exchanged many amicable letters, often referred to as the Sringeri letters, with the Shankaracharya pontiff of Sringeri Mutt religious monastery and offered him help when needed. Whether exalted as a king who fought to keep the British out of the country or condemned for his fundamentalism and aggression, Tipu was certainly the last formidable opposition that the British East India Company faced in India. His army was almost impregnable, and it took the combined forces of the British, the Marathas, and the Nizam to ultimately defeat the Tiger of Mysore. Tipu's father, Hyder Ali, was a military officer in service to the Kingdom of Mysore who had become the de facto ruler of Mysore in 1761 while his mother Fatima Farhan Nisa was the daughter of Mir Muin-ud-Din, the governor of the fort of Kadapa. Hyder Ali appointed able teachers to give Tipu an early education in subjects like Urdu, Persian, Arabic, Kannada, Bari, Quran, Islamic jurisprudence, writing, shooting and fencing. Language. Tipu Sultan's mother tongue was Urdu. The French noted that their language is Moorish Urdu, but they also speak Persian. Moors at the time was a European designation for Urdu. I have a deep knowledge, je possède a fond, of the common tongue of India, called Moors by the English, and Ordozibane by the natives of the land. Death. Horatio Nelson defeated Francois Paul Brueys d'Igaliers at the Battle of the Nile in Egypt in 1798. 3 armies marched into Mysore in 1799, one from Bombay and 2 British, one of which included Arthur Wellesley. They besieged the capital Srirangapatna in the Fourth Mysore War. There were more than 60,000 soldiers of the British East India Company, approximately 4,000 Europeans and the rest Indians, while Tipu Sultan's forces numbered only around 30,000. The betrayal by Tipu Sultan's ministers in working with the British and weakening the walls to make an easy path for the British. The death of Tipu Sultan led British General Harris to exclaim, "Now India is ours." When the British broke through the city walls, French military advisors told Tipu Sultan to escape via secret passages and to fight the rest of the wars from other forts, but he refused. Tipu famously said, "Better to live one day as a tiger than 1,000 years as a sheep." Tipu Sultan was killed at the Holy Didi Gateway, which was located 300 yards, 270 meters, from the NE angle of the Srirangapatna fort. He was buried the next afternoon at the Gumas, next to the grave of his father. Many members of the British East India Company believed that Nawab of Carnatic Umdad-ul-Umra secretly provided assistance to Tipu Sultan during the war and sought his deposition after 1799. These 5 men include Mir Sadiq, Purnaya, 2 military commanders Said Sahib and Kamaruddin, and Mir Nadim, commandant of the fort of Seringapatam. The episode of treachery as narrated by Hassan starts with the disobedience of Tipu's instructions. When he died there were jubilant celebrations in Britain, with authors, playwrights and painters creating works to celebrate it. The death of Tipu Sultan was celebrated with declaration of public holiday in Britain. Interesting facts about Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan, also known as the Tiger of Mysore, was born on the 20th of November 1750 and the same date in the year 2020 marked his 270th birth anniversary. He is considered one of the eminent figures during the 18th century in Indian history. He was born to a renowned military officer Hyder Ali and his wife, Fatima Farah-un-Nisa. On the 270th birth anniversary of the Tiger of Mysore, Tipu Sultan, we will learn interesting facts related to him which are highly commendable. Tipu Sultan was originally named Fath Ali, but his later name became more popular in the due course of time, which was named after a local Muslim saint, Tipu Mastan Aulia. Sultan Fateh Ali Khan Sahib was the full name of Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan was receiving an extensive form of education from exceptional tutors available in the region. He gained knowledge in disciplines such as swordsmanship, shooting, riding, Islamic jurisprudence, and Quranic studies, and also mastered several linguistics, particularly Urdu, Arabic, and Persian. He also adhered to the knowledge of military strategies and tactics under the French officers from his childhood. When Tipu was just 15 years old, he grabbed the opportunity to practically apply his military training knowledge on the battlefield for the very first time and managed a troop of 2,000-3,000 forces and brilliantly succeeded in capturing the Malabar chief's family head, who was protected by a huge force of guards. Hyder Ali rewarded his son with a charge of 500 cavalries and allotted him the task of ruling a total of 5 districts in Mysore. Tipu Sultan was awarded the title of the Tiger of Mysore. Tipu Sultan went on an expedition in the forest with his friend where both of them were attacked by a tiger. His gun fell to the ground. Tipu, without fearing for his life, instantly picked up the gun and killed the tiger, and since then he is known as the Tiger of Mysore. Tipu Sultan took over the position over the throne of Mysore as the eldest son after his father's death on December 7, 1782 due to a serious carbuncle. Tipu Sultan had fought 3 main wars. 1. The Second Anglo-Mysore War, where he had succeeded his father and the Treaty of Mangalore was signed. 2. During the Third Anglo-Mysore War, Tipu Sultan was defeated by the British, due to which he had to withdraw his reign from half of the territories for the British East India Company, the Maratha Empire, the Nizam of Hyderabad, and the other corroborators. 3. The Fourth Anglo-Mysore War was also against the British, and Tipu Sultan was killed in the war while defending his city in 1799. Tipu Sultan had fought several wars against the British and had earned a victory in almost all the wars. The The British considered Tipu Sultan as the most impactful and powerful ruler in the British era, and Tipu's death was celebrated in Britain. Tipu Sultan had written a military manual called Fathul Mujahideen, where he explained the operation of the Mysore rockets. India's former president Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam called him the pioneer of the world's first war rocket. The rocket which he had invented is kept in the London Museum today. Khwabnama, an excellent piece of work by Tipu Sultan, gave relevant information about his dreams, where he searched for pictures and signs as a result of the war. Tipu Sultan generally belongs to the Sunni Islam religion, and the sword which he used to carry weighed around 400 grams with a tiger carved on it. However, the sword was later bought by Vijay Mallya in an auction for 21 crores. As he was very fond of gardening, he established a 40-acre Lalbagh botanical garden in Bangalore. Tipu Sultan had many wives and 2 unnamed sons, of which 2 of them were held captive by the British. Conclusion: Tipu Sultan is one of India's very first freedom fighters who had acted fiercely against the British and defeated them by conquering territories that were under his rule. He had also implemented several administrative innovations, especially the land revenue system, which led to the growth and development of the silk industry in the south.